Well, May is National Osteoporosis Prevention Month. This bone disease affects about 1 out of every 5 American women over the age of 50 and happens when the body fails to form enough new bone or too much old bone is reabsorbed by the body, or both. It is mainly a woman's disease, but men can get it as well. Rebekah Rotstein is in Tucson this week lecturing at Canyon Ranch about this silent disease and what you can do about it. Thanks for being with us, Rebekah.
Thank you for having me.
You are based in New York.
I am.
And you have a group there that does a lot of work with Pilates and osteoporosis, correct?
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'm a Pilates instructor and a movement educator, and I have a Pilates studio in New York, but I also teach courses to other instructors to educate them about osteoporosis, how to treat people with osteoporosis, and also how it can be prevented. I also have a workout called Pilates for Buff Bones, which is a workout that is Pilates based but uses bone strengthening techniques that is also safe for people with bone loss or those who are just looking to prevent it.
Can you rebuild bone once you've lost some?
You can, but it also depends on the age. So you build most of your bone mass, 85 to 90%, by the time you're 18 or 20.
Wow.
So most people don't realize that childhood and adolescence are really the time in your life that you're preventing osteoporosis. But estrogen plays a large role as well. So estrogen is a bone preserver. So the ability to build bone at that age is less likely. However, you're always building and destroying bone to create new bone throughout your body, throughout your entire life.
Now, you refer to it as a silent killer, and that's because, I might have osteoporosis as we speak and wouldn't know it because there really aren't any symptoms.
Well, let me just state, it's a silent disease,
okay,
not a silent killer.
Okay.
And I say that specifically because it is silent in the fact that, right, you don't realize that you're losing bone mass. You don't feel any changes in the structure of your bone. But and therefore there's no pain with it. But it's not a killer because it's not osteoporosis itself that people die from. It's the fractures and the other conditions that can happen as a result of the fractures.
And how do you prevent it? I mean, a lot of women take calcium supplements and they do strength training. Is that really enough?
Well, true prevention does begin in the early years. However, through different lifestyle habits, so modifying your lifestyle to, for one thing, eliminate smoking. That's a surefire way to start. Also through exercise as well as through proper nutrition and stress management. All of these are helpful.
I understand that carbonated beverages are not good for our bones. Is that true?
You know, there's a lot of discussion about that, and specifically colas have been recognized as being detrimental. But there's discussion about whether carbonated water really is problematic.
Really? Okay, well, if you have osteoporosis, is there one message that you'd like to get out to women that you think is overwhelmingly most important?
I think there's two things actually that are part of that message. The first is a physical one, so that women with osteoporosis understand certain things that they should and should not do. One is there should not be a bending forward of the spine. So that's a way that you can prevent unnecessary back fractures, so that you learn to move from your hips, in other words, where your thigh bones meet your pelvis. But the other part is a mental consideration, and that's that osteoporosis is not a death sentence. Just because you have osteoporosis does not mean you're going to fracture. It does mean that you need to start taking care of yourself and taking charge of your health. And
you just wrapped up a week at Canyon Ranch where you talked to women about osteoporosis. I'm sure it's a subject that all women think about.
All women do, although the problem, I think, is that most women don't think about it until they're facing it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And men are faced with it as well, so.
Yeah, it is something that we all need to think about.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Rebekah. And if you'd like more information on her group, which is called Incorporating Movement, just head to KVOA.com, and we have linked to the two. That way you can get more.